You place a high importance of that first impression handshake.
I do.
Elaborate on that.
Well, you're touching someone else and they're noticing your confidence, and they're also noticing whether you do it right or not. So the top 5 mistakes that someone makes is that
What are they?
Yeah, the first one is the most common, that they don't let the web of their hand meet the other person's hand. So it's extremely important.
So all the way.
It's got to come in.
Okay, good.
Yeah, all the way. The second mistake that sometimes people make is they make it real soft or limpy. Have you ever had a handshake like this? What does that communicate to you?
I don't think it's a regular handshake, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And certainly not very professional.
Yeah, it's unprofessional.
Yeah.
Right.
And the third thing is misunderstanding that you should actually give the same handshake on a personal, social level as you would professionally. There isn't a different handshake that you give personally.
Some men think that you're only, or some women think that you're only supposed to, I get a lot of handshakes by women that are just shaking the fingers. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel sad when I see or feel them do it, because I know they haven't been taught any differently, and I know they're going to be stagnant in their career or somewhat crippled. People are going to make a judgment about them. Okay. So when I do a conference...
You have strong opinions about this.
I really do.
Okay.
And so I used to think that everybody knows about this. I don't need to talk about it anymore. But when I do a conference and people are walking in, you know, there might be 200 people in the room or 3,000, but I try the best that I can to shake hands. And I would tell you 80% of the time, people give a poor handshake.
Handshake.
Yeah. And the fourth mistake that sometimes people make is they give an inappropriate handshake where they, go ahead.
Yeah.
They take their hand and cover the other one. So this is appropriate for bereavement, but it's inappropriate.
Politicians are known for doing that sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Inappropriate if the other person is older than you, or inappropriate. It makes it seem too familiar. Like they have they've just assumed that we're friends, we're buds.
Is there a lot of that going on?
I don't know.
I mean, do you get it?
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
So there is.
So
a
here's
lot
what
of
it tells you. If someone did it to you, you would know then that they feel comfortable with you. So that's a good thing.
Okay.
Right? I know it's inappropriate. They don't know any better. And the fifth thing is jumping up and or doing it too long, too many times, or holding it too long. So either way. And the best thing that you can do as a parent, you have a couple sons, is that correct?
Yes.
Right? The best thing that you can do as a parent is to teach your sons how to feel comfortable with a handshake and to give eye contact. So it's okay when you're first coming to look down, so make sure the web of your hand meets the web of theirs, but make sure to look at their eyes and smile. Smile. Al, here's an interesting thing about a handshake. The person that initiates the handshake immediately communicates more confidence. So if I want you to respect me, if I initiate the handshake, you're going to think I'm more confident.
So you think in every case, I mean, who should be shaking the patient's hands? Should the hygienist be shaking the hands? Should just the doctor?
Good.
I'm on a roll today with these questions.
I know. That's good. I like it. I like it because you take me seriously.
Okay, good.
It's not a fluffy subject, is it?
No,
it's not. So I tell people that when your patient enters the office for the very first time, this is the very first time, you should know on your schedule that a new patient was coming, that the person at the front desk, whoever's talked to them on the phone, should either walk around and introduce themselves or extend their hand over the counter. And I get resistance sometimes from the team members because they say, I'm too busy, the phone is ringing. And I'm like, your first impression is a lasting impression. Show them for the very beginning why your office is different. Show them why going out of network is going to be maybe a better situation. Show them why they should stay. Show them why they should stay. Now, they have a seat in the reception area. And you never call it the waiting room, right? Because it's not meant to wait. It's a reception area.
Okay.
And now the assistant, whoever's going to be taking the patient back, and if it's the hygienist or the assistant, whoever it is, they go out to the reception area and they say the person's name. So if they saw you, they'd say Randy, because clearly on the schedule it should say male, this age.
All right.
Not what I should know who they are. The worst thing that could happen is if you're not Randy, right? You say, no, I'm Gary, and I go find Randy. So it does a couple things. I am showing everybody else in the reception area that I'm respectful, and I introduce myself. I introduce myself by my first name. I introduce myself by my position, and I thank them for coming on time. So I've let the rest of the room.
So take me through this process. Okay, so the first person they met them, they either came around the corner, or they reached over and said, hi, welcome to practice, with a big smile. Number two, when it's finally time for them to go in, maybe for a cleaning, the hygienist may come around too and say, you must be Margaret or whatever, shakes the hand.
I'm Dr. Kohler's hygienist. I'm so glad to see you. Thank you for coming on time.
Introduce yourself with your name, your position. I'm going to bring you back. And
I'm going to give you a short tour so you can feel more comfortable while you're here. Remember, this is their very first visit. And if an office does...
So you do get resistance on this, and I'm sorry for interrupting, but you do get resistance where they say, I don't know about that.
Because it's new.
Do you also get people, based on their own values, say, I think that's a little bit too much. Shaking there, aren't we being too obvious? Do you ever get that? I'm not saying it's my opinion.
I do, but here's what I tell people. Try it for 30 days and put yourself in the other person's position. Remember the last time you went to a medical office or a facility that you felt not important. And what I know, Randy, because I've been doing this for so long, the underlying reason for doing that is the fear of rejection. Here's what they're the most worried about. They're the most worried about the fact that when they extend the hand, the other person won't want to shake it. And one of the more common objections I get is they'll say, what if religious preferences? And I said, look, if they're veiled and covered, you're not going to approach them. But if you get a rejection once out of 100 times, what happened the other 99 times? How important did you make that other person feel?
Good for you.
Sometimes, not sometimes, but whenever the doctor is coming out to the reception area, if they're greeting them for the consultation or for the very first time new patient exam, you always extend the hand.
As you say this, I think most people don't like going to the dentist.
Right.
No doubt about it, right?
No doubt about it.
Nobody likes going to the dentist. Most people don't. No.
Not me either.
So I think that by making them feel this welcome could only help.
Yeah, only could help. And the physical touch allows them to feel a little bit more personal.
But could it hurt is my question.
No, how could it hurt?
I mean, hurt by not doing it.
Oh, sure, absolutely. You've missed an opportunity to set yourself apart. Didn't cost a cent. Didn't cost a dime, did it? Yeah.
Good point.
And then on subsequent visits, when the patient comes back, if you've already met them before and given them a handshake, then you just get to stand close. You get to stand close and say, hey, Randy, it's good to see you again. Now you have permission, and this is really important. As they're walking in front of you because they know where to go, you can only touch them on the safe zones. So the safe zones are the back of the arm, back of the arm, and the shoulder.
Like walking them through the door.
Yes, very inappropriate, and I've seen it done, unfortunately, is to touch the lower back of someone.
But on the upper shoulder, upper back, or the back of the arm?
Back of the arm. Never on the lower back. That's actually a very sexual
I see a lot of tall doctors or tall people will do that. If they're very tall.
Too bad.
It's not good.
No, not good.
Good.
Anyway, so the handshake is extremely important, and the sooner you learn to do it and you're comfortable with it and you give good eye contact. One last suggestion, you want to always make sure your right hand is available. So oftentimes we're holding things or we're pulling luggage, we've got a briefcase. You always make sure that your right hand is available so that you don't have to fumble. You've got something in this hand, you go to be introduced and put it down. Not that you would ever do that, but just in case. Yeah.